Hello everyone and welcome to a new video. Today I will do a video for Yuta's individual reading. I've been meaning to do this one for a while, but I felt like I needed to take like a little break for myself, and oh boy was it a quite stressful break for me. But yeah, I'm going to keep this as, I guess, direct or to the point as I can, since I'm trying to get back to the groove of recording again. And in this video we will check Yuta's current energy, his career, his love life, and any healing messages that we get towards the end. I was actually going to do a different member when I was doing like a random list of how I was going to record this set of individual readings, and it was funny because when I wrote it down on paper, I accidentally wrote Yuta's name instead of the person that was supposed to be on this one. So I just thought it was funny, and I was like, well, and that's kind of how it happened, then I guess Yuta had to be the one that had to take that place. And after his whole issue, I was like, maybe that's why I had to do his individual reading around that time. And I kind of wanted to let that one die down a little bit before I did his individual reading, and here we are. So I will try to detach myself as much from that and just concentrate on his actual energy and stick to that. So yeah, with that, I will start with his current energy and go from there. So I usually start with tarot cards, but this time I feel like we're gonna use the Moonology Oracle over and over. Also, if the light looks a bit weird, it's because I'm actually using natural sunlight, so that one's going to be unpredictable. So yeah, with all of that said, let's start with how is Yuta currently doing? How is he doing right now? Okay, so we have New Moon in Aquarius, bring love into the situation. What is the situation he's in though? Let's see. Yuta's current energy. So we have Two of Pentacles right off the bat in Aquarius energy. So he may need to balance himself. That's like the main message, of course. But I was getting this whole thing because we have Aquarius energy right here, and this symbol right here is for Capricorn, meaning that he may need to get rid of any, one of two things: structure himself in whatever form that is. Because it could be like, breaking free from institutional constraints, but it also feels like with him it could be like trying to put a new structure that fits him and that makes sense for him. So it doesn't have to be the conventional way of doing things. Oh my goodness. Let me see if I can fix the light a little bit. Doesn't look half as bad. So it could be something like that. It feels like it may be like stabilizing what he believes in and what his work means to him. Bring love into the situation. It may feel like he's rebelling for no reason, because Aquarius energy is about it's rebellion. It's the breaking free from the constrictions of Saturn, because depending how you see things, Saturn is the ruler of Capricorn and Aquarius. But other times people just take Uranus as Aquarius's ruler. So however you want to see that. I'm talking about astrology, not tarot. In case anyone's like, what is she talking about? We do have these King of Cups reversed. So it feels like there's this sense, it seems like currently Yuta is fighting or going against or rebelling. It feels like he's rebelling against like a father figure, or I guess a boss or something. But it's Cancer energy, so it's like whatever brought him a sense of home, and whoever's like the head of that, it feels like he may be trying to rebel against it. But I don't know if he's doing it the right way. I feel like there's a sense of like going against. I feel like many people watching this will be like, yes, he's going against the company, but I don't know if he's doing the right thing necessarily. We just have the 4 and the 3 of Cups reversed. So I think he needs to. There's this sense of wanting to find balance and going against something different, like a unique path, something away from whatever structure he is under. But with the Three of Cups reverse, it feels like he's doing it, of course, because he's not happy, he's not content, he's not satisfied, he can't celebrate, he can't enjoy it and have fun because it's the Three of Cups, and that's all about that. And then we have the Four of Cups reversed. So it tells me that he's not having fun. It's like he can't have fun, but he can't concentrate in his work either. So he's so out of balance that he's not doing one or the other right, if that makes sense. And by right, I mean like he's not putting the I guess the love needed for either one. Like sometimes when you work, you need to put love into whatever work you're doing, or whatever project you're going through, so that it's satisfying, or it's like a job well done because you're putting your best effort. But if it's something you don't care about and you're doing it, then you are keeping yourself unhappy and you're not doing a good job anyway. So it's just like a lose-lose situation right there. But with that Three of Cups, it feels like he's not even enjoying himself. So when he's trying to have fun or be okay with himself, he's not enjoying it, right? So it's kind of like he's not working hard, nor is he playing hard, if that makes sense. You know, the slogan of any Aries ascendant. I would know. But there's like this sense with him that he wants to like break free from whatever structure he may have. So yeah, I think many of you will be like, oh, of course, a company. So yeah, it could be that he's not content with his work right now and he wants to break free from that, from the structure that the company gives him. But I do feel that the company offered him a sense of home, or a sense of, or a structure that they follow, but he's not trying to adapt it and change it and shift it to something that he's content with. He's just going rebelling against it without even knowing what he wants. I feel that there's this sense of not knowing what he wants and also rebelling. So it's kind of like he's going against what is established for him because he wants to do his own thing, but he doesn't even know what his own thing means or how that looks like or how he can get to that. So I think that's why we have bring love into the situation. He will know what to do when he realizes what it is that he desires in the first place. Just because you don't like something doesn't give you the full picture of what it is that you are looking for. The next card that we have is the Five of Swords. So we have Venus in Aquarius, which could be bring love into the situation again. But one thing that I learned with the Five of Swords is that sometimes I was reading the interpretation of my Happy Tarot, and the Five of Swords represents someone that you can have fun just fighting with. And by that, it's kind of like when kids are play fighting almost, or like when you see two cubs like just like going against each other, but they're just having fun. They're not necessarily like seriously fighting. And I feel that with him, it could be that he may not take too kindly to people teasing him, or he may not, he may take things a little bit too seriously sometimes. But I don't think he necessarily speaks up about those things. He kind of just fights back. He is a Scorpion, so that means that he will poke back and poke and poke, but he may kind of let the problem, he may bottle it up, so he may not speak up about what his issues are. And you don't have to come off too, like, you could be direct to the point and state exactly what you think and how you feel without coming off too aggressive, so no one gets hurt, you know what I mean? And I feel that with him, he has this very strong energy that he doesn't know how to work with it, and he doesn't know how to manifest it in a way where he can get what he desires and what he wants. Even if he may not know entirely how that may look like, he can still go towards what feels right for him. So I think that what he lacks the most is to have a strong value, or a strong, I guess in a way, a strong personality. I guess that's what you could say. And what I mean is having, in a way, having good self-esteem. I'm not saying Yuta doesn't have confidence. You can have confidence and little self-esteem. That's called a mask. You know, you can show people, look, I have this, I have that, but not believe it yourself. You could do a lot. You know, I think that's what they call, you know, putting up a front. That's what he could be doing. And I think that's just bringing him more stress and not enjoying what he's currently in. that King of Cups, I don't think he's emotionally stable either. Because we have a lot of cups and none of them are kind of good. Well, I guess the only one that could be kind of good is this Four of Cups reverse. It's kind of showing that he's aware. He's not... It could mean that he's distracting himself a lot more, as much as it could mean that he's not distracted and he's fully aware of where he's standing and where he's at. But it feels more like, even if he knows all of that, the only thing he's aware of, or the only thing he sees, is what he doesn't like. And he's not able to analyze that and adapt it and understand that, okay, if that's not what he likes, then what can he do to change it so it becomes something he can at least tolerate. And by that, I mean tolerate, because I feel he wants to take it to, he's someone that takes things to extremes sometimes. And I feel it could end up hurting him a lot more if he doesn't just speak up. And some of you may be like, oh, how can he speak up? No one's going to listen to him. I think this also means speaking up, but to himself. Telling himself, this is what I want, this is what I desire, this is what I will not allow people to do, and this is what I'm okay with people doing. That kind of thing. So in a way, setting up boundaries, but healthy ones. You know, doing it out of self-love and self-esteem and self-appreciation, rather than in a demanding, controlling way, if that makes sense. So how is Yuta's current energy? Yeah, we have, I mean, I didn't need that card to know that that's his issue. So we have the Page of Swords reverse. He can't even listen to his own messages of what he wants, and because of that, he lacks the proper communication. But I feel with this Page of Swords reverse, it kind of shows that he lacks the communication to talk to higher ups, but also to talk to himself. And there's this sense of confusion and unsatisfaction. But I think that he could easily solve this if he just talked to himself, if that makes sense, or if he opened up to himself, because then he will be able to say the right things to everybody else around him. The other card that we have is the Page of Swords. If he doesn't know what he wants, and if he can't communicate it, then he can't take action upon it. This Page of Wands is kind of like, pages are the beginnings of everything. They're messengers, and messages can go through between his heart and his brain. So he's feeling stuff, but he can't process that information and formulate it into the right words, or formulate it into the right thoughts. And the right thoughts will be understanding how he feels, basically. Not necessarily is he doing the right thing or the wrong thing in the sense of destroying his career or enhancing his career. Not at all. It's just, this is all about how he feels about himself and how he feels in the situation he's in. And in a sense, like how powerful he feels about it, and not really. And what I mean power is like what's in his control. What can he do to change things, and what he can't do to change things. Because he could be working under a structure. And by structure, I do kind of feel like it could be his work. I do feel that with Yuta, his work is a big thing in his life structure. Probably because it's the thing that's providing for him physically, in all aspects of life almost. It's providing for him physically, and I think that's why he relies on it a lot, but I don't think he's necessarily content with it, and I don't think he's content with it because it's not necessarily, it's a structure that he doesn't have much power with. He has the power of how he views it, how he sees it, and how he preserves it, as in like how he perceives things, right? How he sees it, basically. But he may not really have the power or the ability to shift the actions taken within his career. That's kind of what I mean. Like there's a lot of things that he kind of has to go with the flow of things and has not much say, but that doesn't mean that he doesn't have the ability to shift his mentality or to shift the situation he's in. I don't know if that makes sense. But yeah, but this page is reverse. It kind of tells me that he hasn't even reached the baby mode or the baby stage, or basically the beginnings of taking action and communicating properly, or he's still too confused, and he's still very emotionally unstable. And what I mean emotionally unstable is that he's feeling things, but he's not trying to analyze the situation he's in, or why he feels it, or how he can solve those problems. But we have strength, so I feel that those same emotions can give him the strength to bring love into the situation. Love is a certain state of mind, but it usually starts from the heart, basically. So I feel that there is strength in the sense of, if he is someone that leads himself and guides himself strongly based on his emotions, then that means that, yeah, they're unstable right now, but that is his strength as well. It's kind of like when you're scared of something, the only way you can be brave is if you accept that you're afraid of it, but still push through. And by pushing through is with the knowledge that you're afraid of it, not necessarily ignoring it and moving on. It's more like you work with it, you adapt to it. And I feel like that's kind of what he has to do, is find the courage, be brave and understand how he feels and validate those feelings and understand those feelings, and then shifting that into his tool to become a lot happier, a lot more satisfied, and a lot more balanced. Okay, let me see. I want just a little bit more about Yuta's current energy. We have the Empress. And okay, just one more. Why did this card pop up? Oh, okay. So after we had this whole talk about how his emotions can be the tool that gives him strength to move forward, we got a bunch of major arcana. So this is just a situational thing. He'll get over it when he finds the strength, when he realizes how to work with himself and how to adapt that to a situation that benefits him. So with this strength card, which is Leo energy, then we had 3 major arcana, meaning that this situation he's currently in is something that's going to help him and benefit him in his long-term mission, or in his lifetime, or just the lessons that he came to learn in this on Earth. Because we have the Empress, so it's supposed to help his feminine side become better. So by feminine side, I mean feminine because this is Venus energy, not necessarily his own energy. But there's a sense of using his emotions and the love that he has to try to understand the beauty that life has, because Venus is all about beauty, luxury, and satisfaction in the sense of enjoyment. So I feel that it's like, how can you enjoy your life? How can you see the beautiful things in life? How can you fall in love with the situation you're in? And like that, I don't I got like, I don't mean like Stockholm, what is it called? Stockholm syndrome? Not like, oh, this is bad for me, but I'm like, I love it now. Not necessarily that way. More of like, I understand that it's not everything I'm looking for, but this is how I can shift it, so it's more towards what I care about and what I enjoy and what I love. So that kind of situation, right? Bringing beauty into the world he's in. And then we have Cancer energy with the Chariot. He will be able to get more guidance when he stabilizes himself with the situation he's in and how he feels. Then he will be able to find a more stable grounding, and by finding that stable grounding, he will be able to know what path to take. The Chariot is it's all about travel, so, but it could, I mean, yeah, physical travel, but I'm talking more about like, what's the next step? Where should he go from here? In that kind of situation. And then the last card that we have is the Sun, which is the ruler of Leo, which we have strength right here. But right now that I got with Leo, I got like tame the beast. So whatever the situation is, tame it. And by taming it is adapting to it, getting to know it. And with that, overpowering it with his own power, his own strength, that inner strength. And when I got this whole thing about taming the beast, I got this whole idea of understanding where he stands and what power he holds, what he can change and what he can't change. So what he has to work with and what he has the ability to just straight up get rid of and transform it into something better, something loving. And with that, finding the right path with his Chariot. But with that, I got the Sun. And the Sun represents the energy of being optimistic, powerful solar plexus energy, which the solar plexus is all about your self-esteem, your self-confidence, optimism, and happiness. And with that, you create creativity. So we have a lot of water energy with Yuta, and considering that we have Leo and the Sun, which the Sun is the ruler of Leo, I'm getting this energy of this is supposed to almost allow him, the situation he's currently in, it's supposed to allow him more understanding of his emotions, and not see them as a burden, or see them as an obstacle or something that's not making him happy, but seeing them as like, this is a part of myself that I need to nurture, take care of, and love, and use that as my weapon or as my tool to build a better future, build a better path, or build a new mentality. And with the Sun card, the solar plexus is supposed to be the chakra that helps us with all of that confidence. And since we have the Sun, I do feel that eventually, when he realizes the strength that he carries within himself, he will be a lot more happy and a lot more satisfied, not only in the situation he's in, but also with himself, because himself is something he's going to carry with for the rest of his existence. And if he's not content with it, he will never be content in any situation he's in. So I think he is going through a very good path, and even though it may seem right now that there's no structure, it may seem like his situation is very difficult or it's not going well for him, that's because there's still lessons that he has to learn, and there's still things that he has to improve for his well-being and for himself, not necessarily for other people. This is for him. So with that, I will leave that there and go on to his career. So I want to start with checking the the energies that are playing in Yuta's career. So let's see what is going on with Yuta's career right now. What energies are at play? So we have fire. So I'm getting business right away. Well, it's his career, so of course it's business, but taking things slow is one of the things that I'm getting. Changes, of course, because this is 23, so it adds up to 5, which 5 is all about changes. But that fire is telling me that there's passion, there is desire to get things done, to move forward. What are the energies in Yuta's career? And then we have full moon in Sagittarius, which is a fire sign, which is look at the bigger picture. I think right now Yuta's in his career, he may be very focused with what he has at hand right now, that he may not even realize or notice. He may not even realize or notice the situation, like why things are happening the way that they are. I'm not necessarily saying that the company is doing things as like they're like this big masterminds of like how to work the world or whatever, because we clearly know that they're not, or else they will know how to manage their money properly, or how to make good money, right? If they didn't have favorites, they will know how to make good money. Anyway, putting that aside, with this card of looking at the bigger picture, I'm getting that Yuta may currently be lacking the knowledge of how things are going to play out. And by playing out, I don't necessarily mean with the physical company. I feel with what life has to offer for him. Because it could be like, right now we're putting you in a difficult situation, so you find your own power and go from there. But yeah, this doesn't necessarily mean that he's going to leave the company. But it could mean that he's going to start saying, okay, this is what I want. So are you going to give it to me or not? But I think he's kind of like in a difficult situation, because I think with NCT, based on what SM may want to do, it may be kind of difficult to take out soloists in SM, but they could offer some good projects for Yuta. They could. But with looking at the bigger picture, I feel that there's this sense of your career is just one piece of a puzzle within your whole life. There's many other things, and there's a lot of other areas in his life that he could be working on, or that life could be influencing their energy to help him and become better. And when I mean become better, it's just just learn the lessons that he came here to do, and also figure out new experiences and new ways of thinking. But with all of that fire, I feel like this burning passion was always kind of like I was just shuffling, but I don't have a question yet. Is like, with that fire, taking action, of course, that's one thing that I keep getting, taking action. I have to be careful. I got a headache yesterday, and I feel that if I connect if I connect a little bit more, I could get another headache today. So I'll try to be careful. I'm saying that because I'm feeling a lot of energy on my head. So it's probably like with Yuta is like taking action in understanding how he thinks. With his current energy, we got a lot of energy of he goes a lot with how he feels, but he may be ignoring that right now, or he may not really know how that works, or he may be going through a process of not wanting to give the power that his emotions carry on him, and because of that, he may think, oh, this is how I should think, this is how I should act, this is how I should do things, but that's not how he works, so it doesn't work for him anyway. So even if he's like, oh, I have to just get things done, it doesn't work, because that's not how he was built. That's not in his code, and not in genetic code as in like he was born this way, more like that's just not within his natural energy. He is someone that feels before he does, and he needs to adapt to that, to the situation he's in, and work with what he already has and what he already is as well. But I want to see what energies we have. For Yuta's career, we have the fish. Oh, okay. We have the bee, the mouse, the dolphin, the shark. Okay. So let's see. So the energies that we have at play with Yuta's career is the bee. So being very hardworking, communicate with people, or try to show this image of being confident. I'm not saying that Yuta's not confident with his work. He could be, but he may not be confident with his way of doing things. I just thought it was funny because the car was annoying. We have the fish, so that's water. This is also water. This is water, and then earth. We have fire because of this card, but the energy of the animals themselves was not fire at all. So we have the sense of communicating properly to get the work done. So he's someone that people can work with, but can he work with himself, if that makes sense? And when I mean working with himself, I don't mean just his career. I mean just his way of doing everything in life. We have the mouse. Again, very hardworking, very good at working with other people and getting things done, but there's this sense of nervousness that he carries with his career. Yes, things are unclear. Everything could be a little bit dark. He doesn't have all of the information. There's a reason why the card here is telling him to look at the bigger picture. He's not seeing things. He's seeing the details in his work. He's seeing the situation he's in, but he can't see anything outside of that. He doesn't have the bird eyes view. So maybe connecting to his spiritual side could help him see why he's going through the things that he's going through and why things are happening the way that they are. There's energy of like having fun, so he may enjoy the people he's working with, but that doesn't mean that he's content with the work that he has, or the things that have to be, the way that things have to be done. There's this shark, so there's this sense of just going for the prey, just being low-key about his work as well. So it's kind of like he'll stay in the shadows, but he'll get the work done when he has to get the work done. He seems to enjoy the people he's with. He may have the emotional contentment or the emotional happiness to be with the people he's with, so that's good. We have the fish, so there's this sense of definitely going with the flow, definitely. So in his career, Yuta just kind of goes with how things, he just does what he has to do. That's why he's a good employee, a good team member. He enjoys the company of his teammates, his group members basically, and he goes with the flow of things. But there's this red moon, and there's red in the shark's mouth, and that's not blood, that's the root chakra. It's supposed to represent grounding yourself, but I feel that he may lack grounding himself a little bit. I feel that there's a sense of he doesn't have the grounding necessary to find that stability, which we kind of cover all of that in his current energy, but he also seems to lack the ability to see what he has and work with that, because there's also red in the full moon in Sagittarius telling me that he's not grounded because he's not balanced. He may work a lot from his emotions, but he may lack the ability to just take action in what he truly desires, what he really wants. And we have this butterfly, so he hasn't transformed yet, and because of that, he can't do what he truly desires, or he can't express himself how he wish he could. He's a guy, and usually I mean, actually, it doesn't matter what type of person you are. People are not very content or happy when people express how they feel. If it's not a good feeling, no one wants to hear it, apparently. That's just kind of how we made things in Earth. Well, not even on Earth, like just how society works. If you express your discontentment out of an emotional place, people are not happy with it. You have to be practical, or you have to say, this doesn't function for me in this physical ways and not in these emotional ways. I think people are trying to shift that and change it so people are okay with accepting an argument of, it didn't make me happy, if that makes sense, or it didn't bring me the emotional satisfaction I'm looking for. And I'm going through that tangent because I feel that with him, that's a very big issue. He doesn't really know how to express that part of himself, those emotions, and grounding them in a, ouch, I just hit the table, and grounding them in a way that people can understand them based on the structures that we have built in our society. But yeah, let's see. Just one last card. How is Yuta's career? So you have Angel of Visions. He's not seeing clearly because, again, we have the moon covering the eyes of this person. So it kind of feels like with Yuta, the struggle is that he's clearly, there's a side of himself that he's ignoring, and that's that, those emotions, maybe his spiritual side as well, his own creativity, and his feminine side. And I feel that feminine side is like what's supposed to help him nurture himself and love himself and take care of himself. He's ignoring all of that. And it shows through in his career. So let's see what's going on in Yuta's career. What should people expect? I guess. Okay. So I don't want to read all of them. I'll take the first half. So we have the Magician. We have the High Priestess. I'll put the High Priestess and the Magician right here. He doesn't take action because he feels that he doesn't have the power to create the change that he wants. He's not connected with his spiritual and emotional side. To me, the High Priestess represents the moon, and the moon represents our emotions and our subconscious. He's very guarded because we have the Nine of Wands. We have the Hierophant reverse. He has no structure in his life. He lacks the grounding energy and the balance, and he grounds. He lacks the structure that he's content with. And then there's this moon reflected on the water, but it's reversed. So it feels like that's because there's this emotional disbalance. He's ignoring that side of himself. That's why he's kind of like going through it a lot. I mean, very unsatisfied and not content. We have the Queen of Swords, so not being able to. So here, this Queen of Swords represents Libra energy, so there's a sense of balance. I think he'll find balance when he learns how to communicate with himself. I'll put it right here. Is this sense when he understands the situation he's in, when he goes with his emotions, when he puts his guard down, and he understands the power that he carries, which we kind of talked about in his current energy, he will be able to express himself with the maturity required to be taken seriously, and also with the words necessary that actually express what he's thinking about, because he understands how he's feeling, and he has I guess made it connected his mind and his heart, connecting his conscious side with his subconscious, because I think he's ignoring his subconscious side a lot with this Angel of Visions and this High Priestess. There's this sense of like he's ignoring his emotions and he's not honoring what he feels. Next we have the Queen of Cups, Cancer energy reverse, and then we have the Queen of Pentacles. So we have three queens, which is in this deck the equivalent of Kings of Cups, usually Kings of Cups, the kings in other deck, in the normal tarot decks, right? So what I'm trying to say is that we have Libra energy, we have Cancer energy, and then we have Capricorn energy, meaning that there's this sense of when Yuta gets into his power, he'll be able to communicate himself properly. Seems like his Queen of Swords works well in the sense of he can get the work done. He can communicate with his team members. But this King of Cups reverse kind of tells me, again, this is not the King of Cups. It's the Queen of Cups, but it's Cancer energy anyway. Meaning that we kind of got the same card twice. in his current energy in his career. So there's this sense of not being able to be mature about how he feels and expressing them in a way where he can nurture himself, the situation he's in, or he's not able to do it in a way that he's satisfied with. He's not able to create home the way that he wants it. And by home, I don't necessarily mean like a place that he can live in with the people he cares about. Is making himself home, making himself content, making himself happy, making himself like it doesn't matter where he's at or where he goes, he's still at home with himself, if that makes sense. And this Queen of Pentacles reverse tells me that there's this Capricorn energy, so he doesn't feel like he's his own boss. He can't balance his emotional how he feels about himself in the domestic self, which is like it's like his 4th house and his 10th house are completely out of balance, meaning that he's not content with himself, and he's not content with his public image either. So he's not happy with either one, and because of that, there's this sense of like something he needs to continue balancing in his career. Capricorn energy, he may be good in working with his teammates, but he may lack the networking skills to create this web of relationships. He may not even really desire it, actually. I don't know. There's this sense of not being he doesn't feel at home because he doesn't feel confident, but you know, that's something that he has to work on with himself. That's not something he finds, that's something he makes, if that makes sense. You don't find it, you build that. You build home, you build self-esteem, you build all of that. I feel that that's like his biggest issues with his career. I think that in the surface level, he's good with his career. It's good. But if you go a little bit deeper, if you leave the surface and go and, you know, take a deep dive, he's not content because he's not grounded, nor is he emotionally content with it either. Again, his team members is not really the issue. He is the issue. And by him, I mean that Yuta's problem is himself, in the sense that he's not content with it based on how he sees it. Yes, maybe the situation he's in is less than ideal, but if he's staying there, that says something, if that makes sense. Because he could leave it if he really wants. I mean, if he's not happy with it, there's technically nothing he can lose, right? Because he's already like at the very bottom. He can't go any lower if he's not content with it. I mean, I understand physically there's still a lot of things he can lose, right? But then it's up to him if that is a lot stronger than his desire. Well, if the physical not comfortable, what is it? So it's like if the physical things his career is bringing does that weigh a lot more than his discontentment or his need to be happy or his need to be satisfied and his need to be content and just be okay with life, right? Like that's something he needs to think about. If he's not content with his career and what matters to him is how he feels about things, and he may think, oh, I will feel better if I leave this, then he should go ahead with it. You know, there's nothing to lose. He's not content with what he has, move on, change it, transform it. But if he believes his career has a very strong value and carries a lot of weight and something he desires, but he may not really like the outside of it, then change it. There's a sense of like he has the power to do something, but he just doesn't really do it, if that makes sense. But with that, I will kind of just move on from this and go on to his love life and see what we get there. Yeah, this is Yuta's energy is all about how he sees things and how he wants to change things and transform them. This is really all up to him because he has a power. He has a magician, so he can transform and manifest whatever he wants and whatever he desires, but it's really up to him. Life will present him with like, I know you're not happy with this, I know you're not content with this, what are you gonna do? Again, it's his free will if he wants to stick with this energy or move on to something better or change the situation he's in by changing his own way of seeing things. But now let's see if there's something in Yuta's love life, and let's see how that works. Let's see the energies in Yuta's love life. We have Earth. We have Gemini. And we have Cancer. There's this Cancer energy that is just following Yuta. So it could be that there is someone that is bringing him a lot of a lot of happiness and contentment, enjoyment. So there's like this nurturing energy that follows Yuta and is bringing him a lot of happiness and a lot of stability, like emotional stability. So this is so one of the things I'm getting, seeing how the Cancer energy comes over and over. In his love life, it's healthy, it's happy, but in his career, it's not. Oh, so for Yuta's love life, we have be bold and make the first move, which makes sense. One more. And the other card that we have is New Moon in Gemini. Communication is key. So that is true. He doesn't have the right communication in his career. What makes us think that he'll have the right communication in his love life? Because the reason why there's not clear communication in his career is because of himself. So we have Cardinal Moon, which is something that we got earlier in his career. Towards the end, we had this whole thing of we had Libra energy, we had Cancer energy, and Capricorn energy with those queens, meaning that those are all cardinal signs, and cardinal signs are basically this: be bold and make the first move. Cardinal signs are known to be very good leaders because they are the initiators. They make change. They are the ones that start those things. So Aries is the other cardinal sign. There's 4 in the whole zodiac, and that means that there's this thing that instead of going with the flow of things, I mean Yuta is a Scorpio, which is a 5th sign, meaning that he's very, like, whatever his values are, is going to be very hard to get him out of those things and to help him see that he can change things. If he has a belief that things happen to him, then it's going to be very hard to change his mentality and make him realize that he can be the one making change, and for his own benefit as well. So I feel like the only way he can learn how change can be done is through this Cancer energy, meaning through someone that can help him nurture that change, someone that can help him. When I mean nurture, I mean someone that can help him realize, if you put love into the relationship, if you put love into the situation, which is the first card that we got in the whole reading, or if you do what your heart tells you, if you follow what you truly desire and not what you think you should have, but what you believe and you feel that you desire and want, then I feel that that's the way that he is nurturing the situation he's in. He's like slowly feeding it love, if that makes sense. And I feel that in his love life, we have the sense of he's through his love life and in this one, I don't necessarily feel it's romantic love. I feel that Yuta does not have the headspace for a romantic relationship. I don't think he does. So I think in this one, it does go with family and friends as well. I do think that in his love life, this is not romantic at all. I mean, it could be, but that's not what I'm focusing on for whatever reason. So I think that for him specifically, that's not the case. It's not romantic. But in his love life, he's learning how to nurture himself, how to feel at home, how to feel confident, how to be content in the situation he is in. He's learning how to ground himself and how to set up SMART goals, right? So things that he can actually see, oh, look, I'm progressing, I'm moving forward, I'm getting things done. And being grounded and being very stable like that, doing things that are practical and physically available, but that come from a place that he's emotionally content with, if that makes sense. There is this idea of communication is very important. So I think that when he is surrounded by people that love him and that take care of him and that are teaching him how to ground himself, he's slowly going to realize how to properly communicate to himself and with the people he's surrounded with, and with that slowly lead him into a way where he can finally take that first step and be the initiator of change within his own life. And by that, I kind of mean like he will be able to just get things done and be like, I'm not happy with this, let's change it. Or I'm not okay with how I think about this, okay, why is that the case? And stuff like that. To start making those moves and start changing his way of seeing life. So we have heart or beauty. So this gives me strong Venus vibes. So again, this whole idea of seeing the beautiful thing about life, falling in love with life again. I'm getting this whole idea of just being content with the situation he's in. And by that I mean, like, if he's not happy with how things are going, realizing, okay, how can I change them in a way that I'm happier, in a way that my heart feels comfortable, in a way that my heart feels content, in a way that my heart feels satisfied. That's kind of like the energy that I'm getting. And on the bottom, we have the Angel of Punishment. And with this card of punishment, I don't necessarily think of getting revenge. Not at all. This sense of this Angel of Punishment it's kind of, I guess I'll put it here. It kind of goes right here with the be bold and make the first move. It feels like it's an angel that is going to move forward and just be like, oh, you want change? Let's work through those changes. Let's make them happen. Let's see. Let's fill in the spots. What other energies do we have in Yuta's love life? The first card that we got was the Firefly. So again, proper communication and transformation and glowing within his own darkness. So when he feels like he doesn't know where to go or where life is taking him, is like if he's good with himself, he can glow and be his own guidance in a way, or be able to be like, okay, I don't know where I'm going and I don't know where I want to take this. Where do I want to take things, or like how things are going to work out. However, I do know that this is what I desire, so I'll try to do things that make me happy and content to create that path and slowly build that grounding foundation to get to whatever goal he has in mind. We have the Tarantula, which is the only fire card we have gotten so far from this deck, meaning that he's slowly doing what he's been called out to do. This Tarantula is the energy of finally being able to slowly but steadily move forward. Is the energy of doing what you truly desire because that's your true calling. It is also the energy that it's meant to ground himself and give him confidence, because we have yellow in the middle, but we have red all around the Tarantula. So it's kind of like grounding that energy. Again, finding stability in an earthy type of way. So that could mean finding the right people, finding the right situations, finding the right career, or finding the right projects or stuff like that. Maybe finding the right home if he's thinking of like a physical house to live in, or a physical space to call home. And let's see, one more card. Well, two more cards. We have the Camel. Okay, I haven't gotten the Camel in any of the individual readings for forever. I don't know. I usually don't get the Camel, so I was like, when will I get it? When will I get it? When I do readings for myself or for other people, the Camel doesn't come out, so I'm kind of happy. It just randomly was like, hey, how's it going? But with this Camel, I'm getting like finding the right resources, finding the tools and resources right now that are going to be essential and very helpful for the long run. I feel that that's what he's doing right now. Finding love and finding stability, finding the right way to communicate, finding the ability to take that first move, finding the ability to fall in love with life again. I feel that he is slowly allowing himself to build those foundations or build those tools that will help him in the future. But this is long term. So if he learns how to love himself, or learns how to fall in love with life again, or learns how to ground himself, it will help him in the future, because he will have already had this experience that he's currently going through as a way that he can always look back to and be like, oh, so that's how things happen. I know that if I go through a hard time, I know what worked for me before. So if that makes sense, like this is supposed to help him in the long run. This Otter tells me that there's the sense of like feeling loved or feeling content, of being, I feel like he's making his own bubble of light. This Blue Moon tells me communication is slowly arising, or he's slowly getting into that power of communicating. Like his form of action is proper communication with himself and with other people. And this Otter has the water symbol, so that this tells me that he will also create this bubble where he can slowly manifest what he wants, slowly create and manage himself as well, right? How he feels and how he sees things. This is supposed to kind of help with that. This Otter spirit is also telling me that he's going to be more happy, more content, he's going to enjoy life a little bit more when he finally grounds himself. And by grounding himself, I mean emotional stability for sure. So let's see, what are some of the physical things that people will see for Yuta's love life? So we have 8 of Swords, the Devil, we have 4 of Pentacles. And then we have the Ace of Pentacles. Oh, that's okay, actually. The bottom of the deck, we have the Five of Swords again. So, with this this Nine of Swords and this Five of Swords, I'm getting this energy that one of the things that will physically kind of manifest in Yuta's love life, not love life necessarily, but in his life, that is going to contribute to his love. Let's put it that way. Is that he may have less nightmares, or he may have less stress building up in him, or I kind of see it more this way, right? Like, it's going to start bad and then it's going to get good. If you want, let's put it like that then. So at first we're going to see this side of him where there's a lot of stress, there's a lot of frustration, a lot of anger, a lot of like false communication. And by false communication, I mean like things are being said and it just doesn't work. Like stuff like that, right? Like things are just communication wise, ideas. It's been very stressful, overwhelming for him. Then we have the Devil. He's going to feel with this Devil card that he can't do what he wants, he can't do what he desires. Is this Capricorn energy. He's going to feel like his work, his public image, and his higher ups are like constraining him, and he can't move forward. It's like he's blinded in the sense that he doesn't realize the power that he carries, because he believes his external the external things in his environment basically are the thing holding him back, and he feels that, but that's not necessarily the case. And then we have the Four of Pentacles, meaning that he may feel imprisoned, he may feel constrained. These two cards kind of show like he may feel like he's holding back, but then he's holding to this moment that he can't find that freedom, he can't find that happiness because he's holding back. But then we have the Ace of Pentacles, something, a project, could be a relationship, could be a person, but like it feels also like the idea, something physical is going to happen, a new beginning where he's going to be content. Because it's like a long-term something, and it's the Ace of Pentacles. It's supposed to represent fortune. It could be money, it could be a good project, it could be something he physically desired. So it could be home. If he's looking for a place that feels like home, that feels like stable, he's going to get that. And with this Five of Swords I'm getting, he's going to get disciplined. He's going to understand how to be assertive and say, this is what I want, this is not what I want. And he's going to do it from a loving place because that's how he learned it. And with that, I will go on to the next section, which is the healing messages that we have for him. So let's see what healing messages we have for Yuta, and whatever comes through, comes through. Loving messages, of course, of course. So we have the Squirrel Spirit, believe in yourself, which we have it, since it's reversed, this Oracle deck sees it as a protection message, meaning that right now life is making sure that whatever situation he's going through is a learning experience. It's supposed to be a lesson that's supposed to help him get that confidence, get the self-esteem, get that love. This is all supposed to benefit him and help him and be of use to him. Not use as in like something you drink, use as in something you do. Oh my god, I don't know. I do have to say that when I was transitioning from his love life into, well, his love messages, his love, I can't think anymore, but when I went from his love to his healing messages, I started to get very dizzy. So I will do my best to finish this video and then I'll rest, because I don't know why I started to get very dizzy, and right now I can't really think properly. So maybe there's still a lot of healing Yuta's currently going through, and it's kind of difficult for him, and it might be a little bit overwhelming for him, because I think he's trying to connect his heart to his mind and trying to properly align all of those things so he can communicate what he wants and what he desires from a heart space, and not from the, oh, this is probably what I should do. So this squirrel feels like a protective message. We have 3 acorns, and to me that feels like it's the divine number of you're getting the protection from your angels, from your spirit guides, from your ancestors, from your from any healing messenger I'm getting, or any healer, in the sense of someone that's trying to guide you. Again, not imposing into his free will, but it's like guiding him in, like, you know, you need to remember who you are, you need to remember power, you need to remember who, like, how you do things and how you work, not how you feel things should be done and how things should get done, right? It's that energy of self-love. This is supposed to help him become better within himself. And this 5 and 7 add up to a a 12th, which adds up to 3, meaning that he's working together with the divine power of his spiritual side. The next card that we have is the lesser spirit, dream the world into being. So I do feel that it's like you have the power to create your own reality, but in order to do that, you need to realize how you work and how you think, what you desire, and how you want things to look like before you can start making the physical changes or the mental changes or the heart changes or the action, basically, to make those changes. So this is all about change for him, but it comes from the inside out. So it's not like, oh, how is my external environment imprisoning me, which is what we got in his love life. And it's more like, no, don't think about it that way. What can you do to create the reality you want to live in, not the reality you think you're tied to? So let's see what other healing messages we get for Yuta. Loving healing messages. So we have the dear spirit, bring a gentle touch. So the fact that it's reversed, it feels like life is helping him end this cycle so he can learn how to love himself, so he can learn how to be confident, so he can learn how to be optimistic and how to enjoy life, how to be content with it. I feel that life is working with him and trying to tell him that the gentle touch, or bring a gentle touch, is getting in touch with his feminine energy of nurturing himself, loving himself, of changing slowly his environment to slowly become what he truly desires and what reality he wants to make of it. Is this bring a gentle touch kind of goes with the first card that he got in this whole reading, which was bring love into the situation. So I feel that whatever he's going through right now is like, take things slow, but don't block yourself, because I feel that when he's blocking himself, he's not moving forward, he's just taking steps back. And by what I mean by taking steps back is that he may be taking action, he may be saying things, but since it doesn't come from his truest self, he's just creating more problems for himself. And when I mean problems is that, again, it was a sense of rebelling for the wrong thing, right? He feels like there's external forces imposing on him and kind of like keeping him imprisoned within his own mind, within his own reality, but he's rebelling against it in a place of, I don't want this, which wouldn't be wrong if he had very strong and present what it is that he wants and what it is that he wants out of life, if that makes sense, if he does it from a loving place. The next card that we have is the spider the spider spirit with make your dreams real. So I think this goes kind of hand in hand with this lizard spirit. It's like this whole idea of you can make your own reality a thing if you make your dreams come true. And the way that you can make your dreams come true is first realizing what those dreams are, what they look like, and what that means to him, and how they I'm going through like the 5 senses, how it smells like, how it tastes, how it looks like, how it feels, all of that, right? There was a car outside and it was taking like a long ass fart or something. Those motors really be sounding like throop, 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 throop. It was kind of funny. Anyway, the other card that we have is the antelope spirit, life is speeding up. So I do feel that the wheels are going to start turning again. I feel that's why I'm getting my own headaches. This whole thing of like life is slowly going to start moving again, and it's going to come out fast. And what I mean by fast is like we had like a whole year plus a couple months of nothing happening. So I wouldn't be surprised that all of a sudden it's like, okay, now we can make things happen. Boom. And then stuff starts changing, and it's time for us to be okay with ourselves, so like that we can move forward and go through all those changes. And I feel that's what Yuta is kind of like. It feels like a warning almost, right? Like it's like we're trying to prepare you so you're confident, so you love yourself, so you are content with the situation you're in, because we're about to change everything. So you need to also be sure of what you desire and what you want and what you want your reality to look like to make those dreams come true, because we're about to change everything. And by changing everything, is like, if you learned your lessons and you have told us exactly what you want, we're gonna make it happen the best way that we can. And when I mean we, I mean life. That's how life is talking. Is like, we got you. We're gonna make those changes, but it needs to come from your heart, or else we're going to start bringing you that sense of like punishment. And what I mean by punishment is like, he's gonna go through those cycles again where he has to learn how to change things and how to make things happen. You just learn about himself, how he works, how he thinks, and all of that stuff. So let's see. What other healing messages do we have for Yuta? We have the Fox Spirit. We have the Cat Spirit at the bottom of the deck. And the Moth Spirit. The Frog Spirit. I want one more. Oh, okay. I'll take those. And then I want some more cards. Okay, good. I just kind of wanted to have the cards out so I can just start reading them. So we have the Frog Spirit reverse. Clear out the clutter. I always mess that one up. Clear out the clutter. So it feels like right now life is like purge. Right now you're purging all the energy that doesn't serve you. Whatever ideas, whatever mentality you're in, get rid of it. It's time that you start thinking of what you can do, what you can change, and what you do want, and stop and leave behind what it is that you're not happy with and whatever it is that you don't want. The next card that we have is the Cat Spirit. Claim your independence. Definitely. This is the less of going with the flow of things and more of like claim your power, claim your independence. Start thinking of what you want, not what you think you deserve or not what you think you should go through because you feel like you don't have the power to change things. You do, and you're gonna make that happen by claiming that independence. What can you do? What are the changes that he can make happen? What are the things? And one of those, the best changes he can do is work on himself. Change his way of thinking, change his way of saying things. That's the best thing he can do for himself. Because one of the things that we can all do is always work on ourselves. Always. And the next card that we have is the Moth Spirit. Surrender now. Surrender. Like I said it right, but I thought I said it wrong. But it's reversed. So it tells me that he is divinely protected. That, yeah, even though life is going to start changing and is going to speed up, he's going to be divinely guided. He's always going to have someone helping him out. He's always going to have himself to help himself out. Remember, it's like the Firefly card that we got in, I think it was his love life. That he's going to be his own guidance, his own light, his own, I guess, lantern or his own guidance to go down that path that he may not really know how it's going to work out or how it's going to look like. So he has that power. And he's protected. And then we have the Fox Spirit. Think on your feet. So it kind of feels like this is a card that is supposed to show, if you have your independence and you are confident with yourself and you know what you want out of life, then that's going to help him connect his mind and his heart, and he's going to start to be able to think things through how he should. And what I mean by how he should, I mean like he's going to be able to have this torch of his own passion and desire to be alive, his own love of being happy with life and content with it, and he's going to use that as the guidance that's going to help him go through this darkness of unknowns and confusions and uncertainty and a lot of these things that he may not have the power of, but he has definitely the power of how he thinks, how he sees things, and how he goes through with things. So I guess his actions, his words, and his feelings are definitely things he has power of, but he may not be he doesn't have control over his surroundings and his environment, and sometimes the situations he's in, he will not have control of it. And with think on your feet is like have the ability to understand what you have control of and what you have power of and what you don't. And just because you don't have power over it, don't be mad, don't be upset, just work with it, adapt to it. Or if you don't want it, just leave it. The other cards that we have is a Panther Spirit, reclaim your power, which kind of goes with the claim your independence. I think that this Panther Spirit is basically all we have been talking about this whole reading, starting from his current energy, which carried heavily into his career, and it was like a nicer way of being, like, I guess the benefits of working on himself we saw in his love life, and we are seeing this message once again in his healing messages that is like, look, reclaim your power, know how you work, know how you think, and adapt to the situations you're in. Next we have the Crow Spirit, co-create with Spirit, but it's reversed. So it's kind of like, even if Yuta is not 100% sure how the spiritual world works, how manifestation works, or how self-healing works, as long as he's doing what he's content with and what he's happy with, he's not too far off the path that he has to go through. And when I mean that he has to go through, I mean the path that he has to go through is usually the path that our heart desires. And sometimes what our heart desires, it kind of just naturally makes us go through our tower moments and through our death and rebirth moments, right? It's kind of like fighting the mind, fighting the societal constructs, fighting all of that. So we are building our own foundations and our own happiness and our own contentment and all of that, right? So I feel that with the co-create with spirit is like, as long as he's doing what works for him and what makes him happy and what he's content with, not from a place of revenge, not from a place of useless rebellion. It's like, it's supposed to be for his own happiness and for his own fulfillment. So if he does that, that he will be working with spirit, because then spirit is like life, and life is basically the one that is like, we're moving and shifting the energies, making those wheels turn again. And when I'm talking about wheels turning, I'm talking about like the wheel of fortune in tarot, which is basically destiny and fate, just working with him. The other card that we have is the owl spirit. You see clearly now. So is this whole thing of like, when he sees clearly is when he sees his own power, he sees his own light, and he goes through with that. And with that, he's going to get the knowledge and the information that he needs to go through with life. Remember that in his current energy, we had the Page of Swords reversed and the Page of Wands reversed, meaning that he had a lot of difficulty starting to take action or starting to communicate properly with himself and with other people. Communication can be talking, but communication can manifest in many forms, as it is with himself and with others. The other card that we have is the skunk spirit, know your worth, which kind of goes very well with this claim your independence and reclaim your power. Is this whole idea of he needs to know where he stands. Again, this is it adds up to 9, which is ending a cycle. So what he's ending is being able to see clearly, and how can he see clearly is reclaiming his power, his independence, which kind of goes off with what we saw in his current energy, basically. The other card that we have is a Fifth Moon, hold your vision. We have a Balsamic Moon, a time for healing. And the last card that we have is a Gibeus Moon, you're very close for achieving your goal. And I think that his goal is just to be happy and content with life. And I think he's going to be able to make it happen, because he has to do, I guess, what people call that shadow work, right? Do what he's not content with and leave it behind, or work with it. Change his way of thinking, his mentality. I think that that goes very well with this time of healing. This time of healing is supposed to help him reclaim his power and his self-worth, and to claim his independence. What is in his power? What can he do? What can he make things happen? And when he's able to see that, he's going to see clearly and make sure, and his dreams are going to come true. I mean, his dreams go very well with these 2 cards of dream the world into being and make your dreams real. And then this hold your vision is, it feels like he has to do what his heart desires. And when I mean his heart, I mean what he really, really wants, what he has always dreamed of, what he's passionate about. And he has to let go of this physical attachments of what success means, or what happiness means, or what home means. This is about him. And if he wants to be happy within his own life, he has to do what makes him happy, not what he feels happiness is, or what he feels life is telling him. Not life, but like, I always say society, because I mean, like, this is how humans think, right? I just cracked my finger, in case you were wondering what that was. That was my finger going click. So I do feel that there's this whole thing with Yuta of like, he has to reclaim his power. He needs to connect with his heart, so like that he knows what he really wants out of life, and heal all of those things of feeling like society's getting on the way. It's not them that he has to be rebelling against, he needs to rebel against himself, so like that he can create the reality he's content with and he wants to actually live in. And of course, fall in love with life again. I think that's one of the biggest things. I think he needs to fall in love with life again. I think that's his biggest thing. Find the beauty of being alive, find the beauty of his environment, find the beauty of the situation he's in, and the most important thing of all is to find his self-power, confidence, and self-esteem. Regain that. But with all of that, I will definitely leave it there. I have been talking for quite a while, so I will rest now, and I will chillax and take it slow and steady today. I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you found it entertaining or fun, or I hope you learned anything from it. I have no clue. I don't necessarily know Yuta. I know of him, and of course I know of NCT, but I don't really know too much about him in the physical 3D thing reality. So like, I connected to his energy, and I sent out the messages that I through these cards felt like applied to him, but I don't really know what he's going through. So I guess it is up to you, the viewer, to interpret this as best as you can, or however you want it. I mean, the moment I record this and put it out there, it's your guys' interpretation of my own messages and of your own feelings as well. So I'll leave that there. I hope you find it fun and entertaining, and see you on the next one. Love and healing from my part to you, and yeah, bye.